Hello, everyone.
Hi, Anne. This month, we are going to be joined by 5 strong women who came together and written an anthology, stories of women who have faced and overcome immense adversity. They are the surviving queens. The book is made up of 9 women, but today we have 4 in the studio and 1 will be on the phone. So welcome Andrea, Maxine, Janetta, Sarah and Kanita. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you.
And also a big shout out to the remaining 4 who are part of the anthology. So I'd just like to start by saying this is a safe and compassionate space created for women and men whose lives have been impacted by domestic violence, whether personally, through a loved one, or through advocacy. Here we honour every voice. No one is pressured to share more than they are comfortable sharing, and anonymity is always respected. If today's conversation brings up difficult emotions for you, please remember that you are not alone and support is available. If you are in immediate danger, please contact your local emergency services. Today we continue our mission of breaking the silence, sharing hope and reminding every listener that healing is possible. Thank you for joining us and thank you for being part of this community that believes every story matters. And again, please don't forget to join the online chat. Please join in the conversation, tell a friend and share. And you can, if you know myself and Yannick's WhatsApp numbers, you can phone in. So we'll be right back with you in 2 secs. Sounds a bit muffled.
I'm built to win. This is a war cry. This is a stand your ground moment. This is for every storm I survived, every night I cried, and every battle you brought me through, Lord. Devil, you can't have my mind, you can't take control. I've been covered by the blood, God protecting my soul. I walk through the fire, walk through the night, but I came out stronger, covered by his light. Yeah, I heard your whispers, tried to break my faith, but God stepped in and put you in your place. I'm armored up, anointed, bold and whole. You can't touch what heaven holds. Covered by his blood. Devil, you can't have my mind, no. Devil, you can't have my soul. I belong to God. I belong to God, and I walk with the power of the Holy Ghost. This is a war cry. War cry. This is a war cry. Oh, devil, you can't have what belongs to God. No weapon formed shall prosper. Take your hands off me. Loose it and let it go. You tried to break me when the lights went low. You tried to drown me in the things I don't show, but the Lord lifted
Welcome back, guys. If you've just tuned in, it's your host, Curlyn Daley, with the My Gifts to You, giving voice to the voiceless right here on Blue Dot Radio. Just like to read our positive affirmation for survivors. I am not what happened to me, I am what I chose to become. My scars are proof of my strength and my will to keep going. I rise every day with courage, power and resilience. I am worthy of love, peace and a future full of hope. I survived because the fire inside me burned brighter than the storm. Each step I take is a victory over my past. I am healing, I am growing and I am thriving. I have turned my pain into purpose and my wounds into wisdom. I am a warrior with a heart full of light. I am living proof that it's possible to overcome and still shine. And still I rise. This evening it's going to be a jam-packed show with the surviving queens as we unwrap their individual stories and how their collaboration of their book came about. So we're going to start by reading each one of the ladies' bios and then we can open up in discussion. First with Maxine and Andrea. So Andrea has been on the show before and spoke about one woman's courageousness as she suffered in silence and was able to break the generational cycle of abuse. Andrea is a British writer, business owner, master health coach and holistic therapist. She was born in Birmingham to Barbadian parents. Andrea is a proud mother of 3 and grandmother of 8, with over 30 years of experience in health and social care. She has dedicated her life to helping vulnerable women rebuild their confidence and well-being. She is the former CEO of Embrace Health and Wellbeing, CIC, and as a co-founder of Black Women in Business. Andrea's resilience is central to her work. Having overcome 13 years of domestic violence and significant health challenges, including a life-saving operation to remove an aneurysm, she stands as a testament to exceptional strength. Her literacy work includes contribution to the anthologies Pain to Purpose and the Book of Inspiration for Women by Women. Her book, Suffering in Silence, launched in March 2021, chronicles her journey through trauma and survival. It has recently been nominated for the Literacy Inspiration Trailblazer Lit Awards. Additionally, she is the visionary behind the Surviving Queens Anthology, featuring the stories of 9 women who have faced and overcome immense adversity.
Yes, guys, and so I'll be reading Maxine Palmer Hunter. Before I read Maxine's bio, I just want to send a shout out to those who are listening in. Alicia, Vanessa, Karen Gordon from Bristol, and Vanessa says, I don't know what she means to say, but she said from Nay at the Curlyn Daley show. I don't know.
Who's that?
Vanessa.
Oh.
Yeah, so thanks for listening in, guys, and thanks for going on the chat. So Maxine Palmer Hunter. Maxine is a vibrant and majestic soul who wears many hats, encompassing her nurturing, creative, and empowering values. Maxine has shown dedication in her career as an educator and social care advocate, coupled with being a director at Raise Education and Training. Maxine is also the founder of Brave, offering support to survivors of sexual violence and trauma. Writing her story in 4 anthologies, her new startup was born, namely Analia Publishing Limited. The message that books authors should have a voice and the unseen to be seen. Wow.
Powerful.
Yeah. And then should I just go into Sarah?
Yeah.
And then we have Sarah Maynard. So she's the founder of Love CIC, which is spelled LUV, empowering women and young people through confidence, building workshops, healthy relationship education, and community initiatives. Have you got Cornitas?
Yeah. And I'm left with Cornitas and Ginetta. Oops, a daisy. Cornita is an experienced therapist and well-being professional with over 20 years in the health and wellness industry. She is the founder of Cornita Health and Wellbeing, a business dedicated to supporting physical, emotional and mental well-being through holistic care. Cornita's career has taken her across a wide range of settings, including luxury spas, hotels such as the Hyatt, cruise ships, and community-based practices throughout the UK. Her work is driven by a strong belief in the power of regular massage and therapeutic touch to improve quality of life, reduce stress, and support long-term health. Beyond hands-on therapy, Cornita is passionate about education and awareness, helping individuals understand how consistent self-care can play a vital role in overall well-being. Known for a compassionate approach and professionalism, Cornita continues to inspire and support others on their journey towards better health and balance. Brilliant. Ginetta, aka Empress Lyricist, B. Ginetta, is the founder of JB Tragedy and Comedy Productions. She is a stage and screen actress, scriptwriter, producer and director. She is also a singer, songwriter, vintage dance choreographer, spoken word poet, motivational speaker. Ginetta has multiple published author and host. Wow, all of you wear many, many hats. Yeah, it's amazing, yes, definitely. So, as we start to unravel and find out a bit more about the surviving queens, I'd just like to ask Andrea, as you being the visionary behind the anthology of the Surviving Queens book, how did it come about?
Well, it came about in around 2018, where I felt that women need to be heard, and we need to have a safe place to actually do that. Because I obviously suffered domestic abuse from my children's father for 13 years, and then I started working professionally in the field of domestic abuse. And I just felt that something was missing. Yes, they were able to be housed if they were in a refuge, and they were able to have some support with housing. But I just felt like they weren't support where emotionally they could have emotional support. So I just felt like, let's get together, because there's a lot of women out there who's going through domestic abuse, but we're not talking about it. And they feel they're on their own. I didn't want them to feel they were on their own. So I started events where I had the women would meet. I'd organise an event like in a restaurant, and we'd have entertainment. The women would come and speak their truth, really. So they will speak about what happened, what they went through, and where they're at now. So, you know, I felt that was to help relieve them, really, and help some of the healing process, because a lot of them had gone through it for years and years and years, but never really outlet. A lot of us, like myself, never had counselling, and we just needed something on a more light-minded, more light-minded, that we could actually get together and do things together and speak about it.
Mm.
So eventually, what I wrote in an anthology myself around about 2016. So then when lockdown came, we weren't able to meet. So I thought, well, what do we do now? So because I was in an anthology myself, I decided, spoke to a few of the women, and some of them agreed that, I said, well, why don't we write a chapter and do an anthology ourselves? So that was something that we could do whilst we were going through the lockdown process. Lockdown period. So after we went through all that, and then eventually, as I said, we all came together, got the name Surviving Queens, and that's how we decided to call the book The Surviving Queens, because that was the name of the group.
Yeah, nice. Wow. Okay, so just want to send a shout out. So guys, if you're just joining in, yes, you are tuned into the Curlyn Daily Show. Just want to send a shout out on the chat. Guys, don't forget the chat. Once you get the link, click the link, and it's on the home page. Just scroll down to the bottom. Let us know that you're listening in. You know, be part of the conversation. If you have any questions, send them in. And I want to say hi to Audrey, my mom, all the way in Jamaica. She's always listening in. So, yeah, thanks for joining in, guys. Back to you, Curlyn.
Okay. So each one of you, the chapters that you've got that's written in the book, is it all of it in regards to domestic violence, or are the chapters different for each one of you?
Well, some of them differ, because all of them are not through domestic abuse, but I'm sure the individual will tell you about their own stories, because they'll have their own time to speak about it. But, you know, mine was at the time when I was leaving my husband, and I needed to draw a line in the sand. You know, that's what my chapter's about, and the kind of deceit and stuff, and what happened, you know, through our marriage and stuff like that. Well, before we got married, but then in the end I had to draw a line in the sand. So that's what my chapter's about.
Okay. So do you want to just give us briefly, just tell us something from your chapter that you want to share, if you want to read. It's up to you.
I would have to actually look in the book to read the chapter.
Okay. What's the title of your chapter?
Drawing a Line in the Sand.
Okay, lovely.
Okay. All right. It's just or if you, in your own words, just tell us a bit about what you went through.
What I went through really was you know, like when you get married and you feel that someone's a certain way, but then as the months and years go by, you find that that's not the true person. That's not the person that you thought you'd married. And I just had to find a way of getting out of it, really. And relieving myself of what I felt I was going to go through again. What I went through with my first book, Suffering in Silence, with my baby father. So I didn't want to go through that again. So I had to really cut it before it went too far, if you get what I'm saying. Because obviously as you're getting older, you know, and I felt like I was coming up to 60, and I thought, well, if I go over 60 into 70, I might end up staying in this relationship, and I didn't want to. Because it wasn't right, you know. It wasn't that true love. It wasn't that. It wasn't what I felt it was, you know, or know it was, you know, because the whole. I think, as I said as well, I feel like a lot of men go through trauma just like women, and they don't heal themselves. Where, you know, sometimes a lot of women are more advanced because they're trying to heal themselves by either reading or meeting up and going to groups and stuff like that. And I find that when they're not listening, how much talking do you do? Because eventually it wears you down. And I think eventually that's what maybe made me ill, because I didn't realize what I was internalizing. And then I ended up with an aneurysm a year after I left him. So look at that. You understand what I'm saying?
Because that's one of the worst abuse, you know, emotional, psychological.
Yes.
Narcissistic abuse.
That's what it is.
It affects you physically with your health and everything. So it's having to be careful. And sometimes, because what it is as well, I feel, being in because you know my second marriage was psychologically abusive, and what happens is, if you don't know what you're going through, if you've never experienced it before, you can't explain it. And then if you're talking to others about it, I think that's why sometimes you struggle to explain.
That's
and
right,
really
it is,
talk
yeah.
about what really happened.
Yeah.
Because then it's not something that you can interpret and tell back people for them to really get it if they haven't been.
And you know, from
in
the
the
outside, when
situation.
people on the outside looking in,
Yeah.
like obviously me and my husband at the time, you know, we always look nice together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
life is not about looking nice together. It's
'Cause
about
they put
being
on this
good
thing,
together.
yeah, they put
You
on this
understand?
persona for
And
everybody else.
so people viewing us in a different way, but then your home
Behind
life
closed
No,
also.
but I was
story,
just
yeah.
going to
Was
say,
something
behind
different.
closed doors
Behind
is a
closed- when you
different
go behind
story.
closed
That's
doors.
right.
And I came to a point where I had to be true with myself and decided I need to step out of this. This is not, doesn't feel right, not right.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to live this life. Yeah, I'm not going to live this life. So I decided I needed to step out of it.
And well done, because when your relationship is like in the public, that's the hardest thing to get out of, because
Yes.
you're always thinking what people are
I'm
going
going
to
to
say.
say, that's right.
And as you say, if you put on a persona,
Yeah.
it and being out there and people seeing
Yes.
the good side of it, it's hard.
Mhm.
So well done, because
Yes.
I'm sure
Yeah.
that wasn't easy to
Yeah,
do.
that's it. Well, you know, it wasn't all bad. Obviously, it was
Yeah.
good. They're very good
yeah,
points.
yeah, I know, yeah.
But you know, you have to know what you want to live with, and as you get older, you need
Certain
to do
things
that.
you're not going to
You
put up
understand?
with
You see a lot
anymore.
of
That's
elderly
right.
parents and people who have gone through that abuse, and they've gone through. They stayed with their partner, but they've just continued suffering in
Yeah,
silence.
yeah.
And I just felt that couldn't be my life. I can't live a lie. I had to get out of that
That's-
situation.
yeah. And
So
and
I
this
did.
is why we have platforms to talk about it, because
Yes.
and sometimes it's even your families, because you know what they're gonna say, because you talk with them every day, you hear the languages that they use,
Yeah.
so you know. And I think that's one of the biggest things as well, is what your family is gonna say, how they're
Yeah.
gonna see things. So yeah,
And the support they're going to give.
yeah, and the support
Yeah.
you're gonna get. Wow.
Okay. Thanks, Andrea.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Maxine, welcome.
Hello.
Thank you. What was your chapter in the book?
My chapter was called 9 Lives, because we had to talk about a period when we'd overcome something and how did we manage it. But for me, my life has been pretty colourful, I would say, you know, and there's been many situations that I just thought, how am I still here? Why am I still here? You know, I did go through a period of domestic violence with my first, 'cause I'm married, I'm on my second marriage. So my first marriage, there was a period of domestic violence in that. So I do understand and empathise with people who are going through it.
That's
My
right.
second marriage is nothing like that, completely different.
Yeah.
But it's just, you know, but I know the feelings of being vulnerable and feeling hopeless and
Yeah.
feeling like, where do I turn? I mean, my mother-in-law at the time had already told me, she said, you need to leave him. And I'm like, oh, why is she telling me that? But she knew what she was,
What
you
she
know,
was
what I was going to
saying,
face,
that's
you know,
right.
because he didn't portray himself as such at the beginning, you know. But, you know, but thank God I saw the light with that and I moved on. But, you know, over the years, I've had a lot of situations that they're meant to really overcome me, absolutely. Like Andrea, I've had quite a few near-death experiences. I've had thrombosis 3 times. I've had pneumonia. I've had COVID. I've had, oh my God, I nearly choked to death. You know, it's like, what's going on
Why
here?
did
Different
have to
challenges,
Yeah.
that's right.
And I thought, what's going on? But you know what? I'm here for a reason.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And that's why my voice, I will have a voice. Some people don't like it because I've got a voice. And I don't want you to be talking the truth.
Yeah.
But when I'm not on this planet here to sugarcoat anything, do you know what I mean? So my chapter 9 Lives, I chose 9 different experiences
Yeah.
that I went through and what happened and how I overcame them or what resoluted from them. And it was basically to show the reader that, you know what, no matter what you go through, sometimes you can be in the depths of despair, you know, depths of despair, and you still come through the other side, you know what I mean? So my chapters included the times I had breakdowns. I've had a couple of breakdowns in my life. I've had homelessness. I've had severe financial difficulties. I've had, you talked about my near-death experiences. But also talk about in there, there was 9 things. There's various things anyway, but it was really, really like some real challenging times for me, really challenging times. And I want people to see that, you know, because, I'm a person, I'm out there, I go out, I'm doing my thing, I've got my career and all that stuff, and to look at me, you'd never think
that you'd have gone through that, definitely, because I'm looking at you and I've known you a long time. I want to know that you've gone through all of that.
I mean, there's so much more that I have gone through, and people never know that until they'll be like, oh, do you know, because I started writing my story in my first anthology, and I think that was 2016, and that was called Pain to Purpose. And I decided to talk about my experience about the abuse I had suffered as a young girl. That opened up. And I remember my dad had just died, and it was during the period when we was like planning the funeral, and also, you know, it was that you know, I wrote it within about, I think it was about 3 days. I couldn't sleep because of the you know, my dad and everything. And I just wrote it, and I just felt compelled to start talking, you know, and I just wanted to start writing because in 2014, it started to raise its head. Because it was like a Pandora box, you know, where, you know, I totally blocked it. I wanted to block it because I didn't want to think about it. So what I did, the first person said, yes, I love you. And we went and married the person. I moved abroad, everything, just to start this new life. It didn't work like that. So, and then in 2015, 2016, it reared its head. And I thought, I've got to either, you know, deal with it or not. And I remember one of the ladies in the book, Maureen, she was so phenomenal at that time because she saved my life at one point during that period, which is in my book. So it's the 9 lives, which you say to people, look how many different situations that I've been in so far, but I'm still going, I'm still, you know, doing my thing, I'm still, you know, don't get me wrong, there's days when it does kind of like overwhelm you a little bit, and you have your days where you're thinking, I can't deal with this, you know, or there's triggers, but you still keep going and you still try to live your life. And my thing was about healing, because I thought, you know what, I need to heal, because otherwise I was having a lot of ailments going on. And I think, you know, like Andrew was saying, I think that manifests in your body.
That's right.
You know, because even now I've still got ailments, and I believe it's because I've still not fully processed everything. But it's been a journey and a half. It's been it's definitely been a journey. But I'm glad my story has started to be out there. I'm so glad. So I wrote in Pain to Purpose first, and then I wrote in the next one was Inspiration for Women by Women, and then the third one was Surviving Queens, and then the next one was one called The New Woman.
Okay.
So I've wrote bits of my story in each of them. So I'm on the journey now for my book. My full book to be out. It's called The Chameleon Girl Behind the Mask.
Wow.
So look out for that. Because what I've had to do, I've had to apply myself in, you know, every situation I've been in. You know, when you're at work, when you're, you know, you've got to apply something, put that mask on. Do you know what I mean? So.
Because and I think as black people from Caribbean backgrounds, that's what we know to do. We know how to look good.
Yeah, just to keep going.
Yeah, we know how to look good. So, you know, I know growing up, you know, they would tell you, because we grew up in an era where they told us that, you know, nobody should know your business. It shouldn't look like what you're going through, blah, 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 and everything like that. So we know how to look good. We know how to be behind the mask. That's how we mash up. We're going through so much, and that's what sometimes I think stops us from talking. Because people then they won't believe what you're saying, because they look at you and think, well, you don't look
what you're going through. That's right.
And because you know that, because how do we dress up and look mash up? Or you do that.
Exactly.
You don't know. But you understand me?
In it.
How you do that? Or when you're sick, as a black woman, how you look sick.
Yeah.
Because
They don't
that's it,
believe.
you understand?
And
It's
I'm
like,
fed
'cause
up with
you know,
it.
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
And so, yeah, and this is why now we need to talk, because all of us are going through the same things.
Yeah.
We experience the same,
Same
things.
things.
From parent, whether it's
I was
abuse in the
yeah,
family.
yeah, I was going to say the
relationships.
elders,
Yeah, all
they
of us
carry
go
so
through the
much.
same thing.
Yeah.
But, but you know.
But can I say,
So well done.
can I say as well that because of the point when my situation with the abuse came up as well,
Yeah.
I blocked it that much. So I'd talk about the domestic violence, but that part was like sexual abuse. It was like no. But then there was a term called dissociative amnesia.
Yeah.
So and that's what I was going through.
Yeah.
So you know when you disassociate yourself from it, and then your amnesia is when you forget.
Yeah.
But then you know I kept having trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma, so it was buried. And then when it came, boom, and I thought I've got to either deal with it or let it sink me.
Yeah, because
you
then
know.
you need to know what's triggering you. You
Yeah.
need to become aware of why I'm triggered, what's happening, why I behave the way I behave. Because, you know, as we know, things that happen in our childhood
Manifest, that's right.
manifests in us as adults. So
And also, you know when you don't, you know, because the decisions then it impacts on the decisions as you get older.
Yeah,
so
That's right.
some of the things that you've gone through, you'd be like, when you think back now, if you'd had better
Understanding
support
of
or understanding, or do you know what I mean? It would have been different. So,
And what also with writing your book as well, that brings up back memories.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
mad. It was mad. Honestly, it was, you know, because it was bringing up some stuff, and I was saying at one point I was thinking, who am I writing about? Do you know? Because when I read it in
It's
the
like,
print,
yeah, it's
I
another
said, this is not
person.
me.
Yeah.
This is my life.
Mm.
And I thought, wow. Okay, but
Yeah.
but if you read it, people would be thinking, no, you know what I mean? You're making it up, you know what I mean? But
We were on about that as we were
Yeah.
driving coming in terms of the nightmares, the dreams you would have when I was writing my book, and it was like some things that you forgot about. And it's manifesting itself in the dreams and so forth. So wow.
Definitely.
So
Powerful.
now you're almost healed. You've remarried.
yeah.
How is that relationship like in terms of, you know, because obviously when we go into a new relationship, it's about, can we trust this person? Are they going to love? Yeah. How much do they love me? Do you get me?
Yeah.
And your walk, you're always
Yeah.
watching to see if things are going to be the same
It's
as
true.
before and so forth.
So I've been with him like 24 years now.
Wow.
wow.
Long
And
time.
been married 22. And at the very beginning, I was a bit of a alpha female because I was scared
Yeah.
that, you know, like, when are you going to change? Because he was so different from previous, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? I mean, he was even a different personality to what I normally go for.
Yeah.
I liked how he looked, but
Yeah.
I thought, oh, I need somebody a bit more tough, you know. You have to be tough with me, you know. But then he proved himself that he is, you know, he'll talk to me. You know, if I'm doing something, he'll talk to me. He don't have to bark. He don't do none of that, you know. He's just, he's definitely
And
a lovely guy.
Did you find that you sort of tested him? You forever tested
Yeah,
him?
that's what I was saying. Yeah, because
Yeah.
at the very beginning I did, and I wasn't. In hindsight, I think back, you know, I wasn't that nice
Great,
Yeah.
because I was always testing him to
Yeah.
see, are you going to go?
Yeah,
Are you going to
pushing
stay?
him.
And and when I look,
Self-sabotage.
Yeah.
definitely,
Definitely.
and you know, I definitely did that.
Yeah.
And it's only because now I didn't realise what I was doing at the time, but now I realise I was just scared and testing and seeing, is he going to really stay?
Yeah,
Do you really love me? Like, I'm worthy of
That's
you,
right.
and you know, so and he's proved it over the
Over
time,
and
so,
over.
yeah.
That's it.
But I just
That's
wish at the early part I'd known this. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That because I wasn't very nice, and he still stayed.
Yeah. So that's love.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And it is, and it's all about finding yourself, and like you said about your self-worth, how you value yourself, how you take care of yourself, self-care, and all of that in terms of being able to love again
That's right.
and open up and be free.
My value was weak.
Yeah.
My value was weak. My worth was weak.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And a lot of times it's definitely it's what you definitely think about yourself.
Yeah.
how we interpret ourselves. Because I was saying, you know, when it comes to shame and stuff, shame it's internal. It's not even about what others say; it's what we say about ourselves. That's what brings on the shame and stuff.
The thing is, that's why with the first husband, why I never left quicker, because it was a shame. I didn't want my family to say, "See me tell you," you know, or telling me that, oh, look at, you know what I mean. I just didn't want him to know. Like it was crazy, man. But
wow, amazing,
Lovely.
amazing. Okay,
Well, guys, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in 2 minutes.
Yes, no problem.
Okay.
You're set. My love belongs to God, belongs to God. My soul is sealed, sealed by God. Devil, you can't have my mind, no. Devil, you can't have my soul. I belong to God. I belong to God, and I walk with the power of the Holy Ghost. This is a war cry. War cry. This is a war cry. War cry. Devil, you can't have what belongs to God. 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 You can't have touch what belongs to God. You can't have touch what belongs to God. Holy Ghost, Holy Ghost, Holy Ghost. I done cried tears nobody saw. Fell down more times than I stood tall. But every time I got back up, it was grace that pulled me. So I ain't perfect, but I'm purposed. And when my time comes, Lord, I just want to make it in. Thank you, yeah, yeah. Thank you, yeah. I've been down in the valley facing the ground. Lost my faith, but his mercy found. People talk, tried to count me out, but God wrote my story, no room for doubt. Tried to fix me with worldly things, but peace don't come with diamond rings. Now I'm trading my pain for praise, 'cause I made it through by amazing grace. I done made mistakes, but I learned my lesson. The devil had plans, but I turned my direction. Ain't looking for fame, don't need perfection. Just want my soul to pass inspection. Oh, I wanna get into heaven. When the trumpet sounds, let my name be read. I done fought through hell, but I'm still here standing. Covered by the blood, that's how I'm standing. I wanna get into.
Welcome back, guys. If you've just tuned in, it's your host, Curlyn Daley, with the My Gifts to You, giving voice to the voiceless, right here on Blue Dot Radio. We've just done a quick changeover, and we're going to be speaking with Cornita and Sarah as they share their stories. So welcome, guys, welcome. Really
Thank
love you
you.
being here.
Welcome. Thank you.
Okay. So in terms of the book, what was your chapters? You want Sarah?
My chapter was called Why Me? Yeah. Because that's basically a question that I used to ask myself a lot all the time.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go deeper?
Yeah.
Because she just
Yeah,
asked what
why-
the chapter was
yeah,
called,
why-
so
yeah,
I was just
why-
trying to give you
yeah.
that. But so mine isn't just about DV, even though I have been a victim. It was about just life in general, in the sense of the rejection that I've faced through family, friends, just life situations that have just made me feel like I wasn't really worth anything.
Okay.
So I used to ask, why me?
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow. Do you wanna so give us a bit more, because you just said deep, and I like deep. So when you say rejection, because I know I can relate to when you say rejection, because I struggle with the rejection. That's one of the things. And I remember when I was writing, and I did therapy. One of the things that came out was rejection, and when you go through rejection as a child, it affects everything.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it affects relationship with other people. You know, as soon as somebody says no or whatever, or you find yourself probably don't put yourself forward as much because you don't want to hear no, because you know what that feels like. So
Mine started from childhood. I think was the first one. Obviously, my dad. Not leaving because my mum didn't want him there anyway. But it's not about their relationship. It was about his relationship with his children after that he decided not to have. So I feel like that's where it really started, to be honest. And then from that, it's just friendships. My first relationship, 17 to 19, was an abusive relationship. And then after that, it was a case of getting pregnant, having a miscarriage with my friend who already had kids, having another kid and watching her have to have another child while I suffered a loss. And then the guy that I was pregnant for, him ended up moving on and getting someone else pregnant and having a child where I didn't have mine. So it was a question again, like, why me?
Yeah.
Why didn't I, why couldn't I have my child, kind of thing. And just continuation of rejection from friends and even family, not really feeling connected to anybody or anything.
And I get that, because my rejection was from small. Obviously not, I never literally, I know my dad, I would see him, but I don't know him. I never really talked to him or anything like that, because growing up where I grew up, he had mental health issues, which I didn't know at the time, and so that would have caused him not having a relationship with me. But you don't know that, so you internalize that. And
you blame yourself.
Place it as rejection. So, him not being around and knowing certain things, then you find that you end up in relationships
basically
that you're not supposed to be.
Or because you're looking for something that you really don't know, So
Well, I feel like that's been my life still, to be honest, even since writing my chapter in the book. It's sad, because at that point when I wrote that chapter was my growth point. I had like about 4 or 5 years where my daughter's dad wasn't around, and I was able to really find myself. But things have gone, still been up and down. The difference is that I don't allow it to consume me, but life's just hard. I'll be honest, it's hard, and it's very isolating for me. So the struggle's still there. It's still real.
But in terms of your business, and I know you call it Love, how did that come about?
From being in this space, feeling isolated, not having anyone to talk to, no one really understanding me, feeling completely misunderstood. So I started a group on Facebook, which was a page for women to basically listen, uplift each other, in a safe space to vent. And from there I created the CIC, which was more directed towards young girls, to be honest, and delivering programs in schools for them, because I felt like there were so many female empowerment organisations being born at that time and helping women, but if there's all these broken women, then who's actually influencing the girls that they're upbringing if they're not even able to kind of influence themselves, if that makes sense. So making sure that they don't make the same mistakes that we've made and go into these relationships looking for that love that they're not going to find.
Because the love that we're looking for really comes from ourselves, basically. So it's reaching that point.
Do you know what it does? It definitely does, but I also feel like love is nature, companionship is nature, and sometimes we can fool ourselves to say you do have to love yourself, and trust me, if I didn't love me, I wouldn't be able to continue moving through each day, but we do need to feel loved by other people as well. It's a natural thing, and sometimes I feel like we kind of have to, we get spoke at to say, oh, you gotta love yourself, it's just you. No, that's not natural. I'm sorry, it's not. And whether it's love from a companion, whether it's love from family, a friend, whoever, people need somebody. A lot of the time when people are going through stuff, I see people say, oh, I went through this, and if it weren't for this person, I don't know how I would have got through that. I've never had that. Do you get what I mean? Where I've actually had someone really hold me up through my trauma. So, we need people as much as we've got to love ourselves. We need to feel loved, appreciated as well.
And even when you, because I think with loving yourself as well is knowing, it's putting you in a place where you know what that love, you want that love to look like.
To look like for you.
How,
exactly.
So it's either
and it looks different for everybody.
Yeah, and it looks different for everybody.
And that's the thing, sometimes people put their feelings, thoughts, or how they see things onto you, and that's not maybe how you are or deal with things, and that's okay, because we are all different.
And I suppose a lot of it is because of their background and their environment in terms of how they've been grown.
Exactly,
and
it
so
has
forth.
that influence on them and
That's
how
it.
they see things. So,
That's true. And I think we grow up as black girls, I would say, and you find that as
Gotta
a
be
black
strong.
girl, if you have a voice and you know how to voice and you know how to stand up for yourself, then people
You're a
take it
problem.
negative. You're a
and
problem.
that's been a story of my life.
Instead of finding out what would make you angry, because obviously if you meet somebody and they have this anger, it's obviously things that they've been through, and stuff like that. I'm not using it as an excuse,
but it's not an
time
excuse,
for
it's
us-
actually reality.
Yeah,
But
it's
the
time
sad
for us
thing
to
is people
recognise-
don't. And for
Yeah.
me, I find I've struggled, because even when you've got people that have watched you, seen you go through your struggles, know your traumas, you could be at your lowest and they'll still
judge you,
have zero empathy. Like, there's sometimes I've just needed empathy, and then the people that I thought loved me the most and actually understood me have rejected me. And that's why now I have such an anxious attachment style, and I don't really like people.
I get you.
I don't like
second
people.
that.
I don't like building relationships with people, because majority of people are fake, and they
It's-
don't like reality.
It's true.
They don't like to be held accountable. And I'm not perfect, but I can. If you tell me, sorry, you done this, if I done it, and even if I see it differently, I can still take myself out of the situation and look at it from your view and respect that and understand that and give you grace for that. People don't do that. Hardly any. Not some people do, but very few. And I struggle with that, because I just deal with realness, so I just stick to
And that's what most
stick to myself. They don't like it. People say I'm real, a lot they don't, because the minute you're real with them,
It's a different story.
now you got
That's
a problem.
right.
Now, and that's why I'm the villain in everybody's story, and I'm used to it.
Well, guess what? Welcome, join the club. Because, it's true. Because I was speaking to my sister the other day, and we were saying, like, we don't like people. You know, it's like having people around. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
And I remember watching The Grinch, and he looked outside and he went, ew.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what
literally.
people. I mean,
You
as
just don't
much
know what
as-
you get.
Yeah, you know, so because you know what you've gone through, and I think once you start having a voice, as even from a child, they just label you and it sticks with you.
And I had a voice from a child.
Yeah, and
so
then you
I was
become the black sheep now, and
I was just the one with the mouth and the attitude.
and the attitude
my sister was
and
the quiet
everything,
one, and do you know what I mean? Where really the reality of it is, I was just the honest one.
Yeah.
I was the one that had
voice,
the chest to say it. Where other people would sit and show away. That's why my mum used to do hair back in the day. Her friends after end would say, "Sarah, come down," because if it never looked good, I say to them, "It don't look good." It don't matter. It don't matter that my mum just done their hair. I'ma say it don't look good. And in it, mum, that's true. They'd call me downstairs to say, "Sarah, does this look nice?" Because if it never, I'd say. So from young, I was always the one that would just be honest.
Yeah, because I remember when people would say to me, just be honest, and I say, "You sure?"
Yeah.
Because I'm like, listen, I'm going in. So yeah.
So how do you change the narrative for your children?
Oh, I've only got one daughter.
Well,
She's 17, and do you know what? She's the opposite to me in so many ways. Where I'm so emotional, she's so nonchalant about everything. But I feel like the things that she's seen, like she's already said, I'm breaking the cycle in the sense that, like my nan, my mum's mum went through DV. My mum did. I have. She's like, I'm breaking the cycle. You know, she's very aware. She's very much like, that ain't gonna be me, and I'm very much for that. So obviously, you know, she's seen what I've done with building my business, so she's been part of certain things. She's seen it all, so she knows the struggle. She's seen what I've been through with her dad. She understands, and as I said, thankfully, she's the opposite to me in the sense that she's just very. I'm strong-headed, but Shay is just very much. She's nonchalant, but she just doesn't let things bother her. Yeah. Where I'm glad, because really, what she's been through and what she's witnessed, it could have went the other way for her. Yeah. But she's at college. She's got a little job. She you know, she done well in school with her exams, so I've got to give thanks, because it could have been, as I said, the opposite. Yeah, considering really she didn't get the upbringing she deserved. Yeah, I would. Yeah. Not that she had a bad one, but you know, she witnessed things and that she shouldn't have had to, and became quite angry within herself, not knowing how to kind of deal with things.
Yeah. Which and a lot of times we don't realize that the children, even though they're not talking, they're seeing.
Oh no, that I realized that was a massive. That was when I was going through my time. That was one of the biggest things for me, that. Because I know that from my own experience, and I know the effects of not having a father as well. So I battled in the sense of putting her before me. Because really I should have completely disconnected myself, but I couldn't, because that's taking her away from not just her father but his family, which is a big family. And then for her to grow up without them, not knowing them, that's not nice for her to get older and have all these cousins, same age, similar age, they're all close, and she's like the outside. I couldn't do that to her, because I know, even as a grown woman who's in my 40s, I know even to this day it affects me not having a dad. Yeah. And not having that man in my life. And I know if I did, certain relationships that I went through wouldn't have went the way they went through.
You know what? Or sometimes, you know what, I look at it as probably it saved my life, because sometimes we yearn to have this father love, but they could have been this worse, destroyed us as men, because you know they went through stuff as well. So sometimes I try to look at it that way. It probably could have been worse. It probably saved me from something, you know, them ways, or because you hear so many stories of people, the dads in their life, but the disaster that they cause, whether it be sexually abusive, physically, or
mentally,
stuff like that. So for me to feel better,
that's what you tell yourself.
You think of it that way.
Could have been
worse. Way of turning it around, and turning the negative into a positive. Wow. So, you just talking in the sense of your mum went through DV, yourself went through DV. When you went through your DV, wasn't your mum aware or was able to guide you or show you, or how?
I'm quite in myself, and to be fair, I just feel like everyone's situation is different. So obviously when mum went through it years ago with my dad, it was different to what I went through with my daughter's dad. So, and I'm a very emotional person. My mum's not so much an emotional person. So just because she's my mum and she's been through it, it doesn't mean that we can connect necessarily in that time together. And that's not a negative thing, because physically, if I needed her, she would there.
She's there.
And he's at the, you get what I'm trying to say, but emotionally I know how I am, so and I know how my mum is. We don't necessarily connect in that way, but that doesn't mean that we haven't got that close relationship, and she wasn't supportive in the way that she was able to support me. And I'm grateful for that, because obviously there's, you know, times where, and the fact we live next door, and which is a blessing, because when things were going on, she was just literally next door and able, you know, a step away to be able to come around and diffuse situations and make things better in that sense, have those conversations with him, whether we're talking the story, but you know, at least try and do what she could do in those moments. But obviously, and even for her as a mum seeing it, I suppose, I don't know how that would have affected her and made her feel. Like, it's not, I suppose, an easy thing either to, do you know what I mean? It's different when it's somebody else that's not so close. I think it would be different. I don't know. And then also, no matter what, there is the fact that she does have not relationship, but obviously she knows my daughter's dad, so there's that respect between them two in that conversation where, like I will always say, like to anybody else, and I would never sit and completely negatively speak about him, but he's a good friend, he's a good son, he's a good... Do you get what I'm trying to say? He's a good brother.
It's just not a good
Like,
lover. It's
do you
just
get
not
what
a
I
good
mean? And it's not to
partner,
say
yeah.
he's not a good partner, he's just not a good partner
But
for
for
me.
you,
That's
He could be a
right.
great partner for somebody else, and I really do hope in the future that is the case. But just for me and him, it just doesn't work in that sense. But as a person, a whole, is he the worst person? He's not.
No.
So I can understand sometimes when the conversations where I probably would have wanted it to be a bit different wasn't, because there's certain respects where they've had their own, you know, where he's done things for my mum and she's done things for him, because it's been years of him being within the family. It's just like with me, with his family. So sometimes things are not so clear cut as we'd like them to be. And people may not understand it, but it's deep in it. It's not just it's not just surface level. Is
That's
it?
right. And it's also a way of forgiving and
Yeah.
moving on and
Yeah.
letting go.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially you've got a child
Exactly.
together. So
And no one's trying to hold on to.
But even with what you just said there, where you say he's a good person, probably just not
for you.
me.
That's
and,
right.
and that's powerful, because a lot of times we think we're so perfect, like why, as you say,
no.
you know what, no, and you think that when they go off, whoever they
You
go
ain't
off
gonna-
with, they're
that's
gonna be
it.
the same.
No,
But no,
it could be
because
completely
it's-
different.
it's
Two people,
obvious, yes, 'cause we're
It's a completely
totally
different
yeah.
person to me, and I know when we were together back then, was I the best person? No, bearing in mind also he's 6 years younger than me, so my expectations of him at that time were probably way more than what he could have ever done anyway, because
Yeah.
he was young.
Yeah.
And then we know when a man has a first love, it's hard for them to kind of move on from that.
Yeah.
So that's where I feel like it was a you know, I was stuck, and that's why, as I said, it's not. Yeah, I've been through a lot, but do I completely feel like, oh my God, this guy, and I would, if he was to move on, I'd want to warn the other. No.
Because as you say,
No.
you know that, because that's what I always says as well. Even though the relationship was abusive, I'm not gonna play like I was perfect.
Did you get what I
That's
mean?
right.
Because I played a part.
Of course,
I played my part
of
as well. It's
course.
taking responsibility.
Yeah, it's accountability
as well.
all day
That's
long.
part of your healing as
I may
well,
not have
to
been
say.
physically abusive to him, but you
Yeah.
know, I know how my
Probably
mouth
never
used to
started
stay.
it,
Oh,
but
you know what I mean?
finished
Like,
it.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Exactly. My
You know what I mean?
frustration
Like,
with
yeah.
to jumping. You know what I
I
mean?
started it, but I did finish it.
Do
and
you
it
get
never
what I
finished
mean?
nice. And
Or you say
sometimes-
certain words
yeah,
to
and
dig.
sometimes you don't realize that somebody can do something to you and you react to it, but your reaction,
Yeah.
because I know what I'm
I
like.
know
my
what I'm
reaction
like.
would probably be worse
My
Yeah.
reaction was a million
than
back
what
then.
they
Yeah.
done, because as you say, I'm quite emotional as well, and I take things deep. So if
Same.
you say something to me, you probably take it surface level, but for me it's a
It's-
proper you know,
You've
it's
cut
like
me deep.
iceberg.
Yeah, yeah.
Deep. So I take it like that. So I will probably come hard, because I always have this saying. You say, if you step to me once, prepare for me to step to you twice.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna come harder.
Harder.
Because it's that defense thing, innit?
Yeah.
It's like, ugh.
And that was me. I was always
Yeah.
very defensive, and
Yeah.
obviously with my past relationships as well that weren't the greatest. So that obviously going into that with him, I'm carrying my
you're
traumas,
constantly
and do you
defending
get what I
yourself,
mean?
having to
So
defend
and then
yourself.
I always say I never sit down and run him down, because it's not that, but it's just not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sadly.
it's things happen, because I remember when I grew up and I saw my mom in her relationship, and I remember making a vow, I don't want to be a wife. I don't want to because as far as me concerned, wife don't get no treatment.
Yeah.
You know, that's what
That's what you
I
saw. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I'll be the girl on the side. 'Cause guess what? You come,
She gets
no,
everything.
No, serious.
No.
No, she gets everything. She gets what she wants.
Taken out,
and
this,
yeah,
that.
and she don't have to be doing no taking care of
Cooking and
cooking,
Cleaning and all of
everything.
the all above.
And stuff like that. Because to me, it's like being a wife. That not make it.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to be a wife for a long time. But we don't realize. And so what happens is you go into the relationship alpha.
Yeah.
Like, don't chat to me.
Yeah.
Me not cook. Because I remember for my second husband, I was like, listen, it's either you want a housewife or you want a career woman.
Yeah.
But you can't get both. You understand me? So it's that difference, and it's like, that's not right.
No.
It's not good.
But that comes from growth. And obviously what you learned was from, you know, what was instilled in you.
Yeah. And it's and you realize it's coming from
Childhood,
What
what you
trauma,
saw.
that's
seen,
right.
and it trickles into your relationships and
Without
it's not
even
good.
knowing. No. I agree.
So I know. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Sarah.
Thank
thanks
you.
for
Yeah,
sharing.
thanks for sharing.
Thank you. Cornita.
I don't know if I'm ready for this one.
You ready?
I suppose I have to be in it.
So tell us about your chapter. What's it called? And
My chapter's called Aborted But Not Dead.
Ooh,
Wow.
Nah. Say that again. Say that again.
Aborted But Not Dead.
Dead. Wow.
Okay. And what does that mean? In what sense?
So in my chapter, I was talking about a relationship that I was in when I was 19. I was groomed by a guy who was 7 years older than me. I didn't want to go out with him. It was my cousin's friend. But at the time, I was vulnerable because my mum kicked me out. So I was staying with her. So I wasn't interested. I was just focusing on college and stuff. But he persisted. Eventually, we got together.
Yeah.
And then I moved into my flat. And I says to him, I do not want to live with you.
Yeah.
You can come over, but I don't want to live with anyone. Before I know it, black bags, key cut.
Yeah.
Is in my house. So I was like, how do I get him out of here? And his friend says, she said she don't want to live with you. Like, listen to her. And he's like, she don't know what she want, man. She don't know what she want. She's young. And maybe I didn't know what I want. Maybe he was right. So anyway, we lived together. Before we lived together, he was showing certain things. But I thought I was jealous. So I thought, oh, he likes me. Getting sweet.
Yeah.
And then as time went on, it was getting serious. It was getting physical. The word was coming out. I'm damaged goods. I'm this, I'm that. No one wants you. I said, I'll come at my house then. You know what I mean? Drop the keys and go. Yeah. And he's like, no, I'm not going anywhere. You can't leave me. So, and that's what I exactly thought, that I couldn't leave him. Yeah. And if I tried to leave him, things are going to go. In that process, I became pregnant. And so I told him that I was pregnant, and then he was like, "You're not having it." I said, "No, I am. If we just done, we done. I don't care." I thought, he's gonna start the physicalness. He's gonna go because I'm adamant that I'm gonna have the baby. And then when I was about 9 weeks, 10 weeks pregnant, he beat me with a curtain rod. And I had a open closed wardrobe, so he pushed me inside there, and I just remember speaking to the baby and said, I can't do this, because I just thought, if he can do this while I'm pregnant, what else is he gonna do? So I remember going to the clinic and having an abortion. And even when I went to do it, the lady was like, "Oh, you can't do it because you're anemic." And I was like, I'm not in a safe space. And I didn't tell nobody that I was going through that. So none of my family knew. Everybody think he was a nice, charming man. And
it's okay. Take your time, babe.
So that happened. And then when I was in the clinic, someone has to come and get you in it to go home. And I phoned him, and he says I'm busy, find somebody else. And I thought, you are supposed to, you know what I mean? So I was the last one, and I begged the woman. I said, please let me go home. I want to go home. And she was like, I'm not supposed to make you leave without somebody. So she said, okay, then I could see that you want to go. So she made me go in a taxi, and I went home, and it was just in my head. I said, that's it, I'm done. He came back, and I didn't want to sleep with him. I didn't want to do nothing with him, because I'm just like, I'm done. I even says that I'm on a period, my period, just so we don't have any sex and whatever. And he's like, what's wrong with you? Why are you going on that? And I was like, in my head, I'm like, we're done. But I just didn't know how to get him out of my life. And then one day we were just talking, and we had an argument, and he threw a shoe at me. I thought, oh, okay. So I just pick up the shoe and I threw it back. He went, you turned bad girl. Sorry. And I went, I says, no, I've had enough. So he walked out the bedroom. So I followed him. He says, where you going? I said, I'm following you. I thought, I'm ready. I said, God, if I'm gonna die tonight, I'm dying because I tried to get out of this relationship, so I didn't care. So in the living room, so he's picking up the phone, and I said, "You picking up whose phone?" He's like, "I'm calling my baby mother." I said, "Not on my phone." I pulled the phone out the socket, so I know so it's drama now. And he's like, "Oh, I see why I fight." I said, "Yeah, because you're always trying to hit me, and I won't do nothing." I said, "Come, I'm ready." Throwing ornaments, we was proper physically fighting. And then he got my keys, and he went like this, and I went. He says, "I'm gone." I went, "For good?" He's like, "Yeah." I went, "Whatever, he ain't gonna good." And he gave me my keys and he left. And I was sitting down. I went, "Is he really gone?" And I thought, is that all I had to do? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's all I had to do.
Because he didn't like that, did he?
No, he didn't like it.
No, because he can't manage that.
That's right. They expect to be under his control, isn't it?
Because it's bullying,
Yeah.
and the cowards.
Yeah.
So that's why my title is Aborted Not Dead, because yes, I did that, but something inside me obviously died. But I wasn't dead because obviously I tried to fight back to get my life back. I did fight back to get my life back.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that most probably surprised him. Do you know?
Listen, he was
the
shocked
shock
that
of turning around, throwing the shoe back, and so
I
was thinking.
He came back like maybe like 3 days later, and to get his stuff. And I said, "Oh, take it." And I was thinking to myself, he's gonna try and and now he says, he goes, "You ready?" He goes, "You ready to move on?" I went, "Yeah." I said, "A really long time, but I just didn't know how to do it, and I didn't see him for ages. And lucky for me, I was able to go work away on a cruise ship.
Okay, that was good.
So I had my escape from him, but then it wasn't good because I was getting into relationships, and I still had him in the back of my head. So if I'm sitting down and a guy went like that, I'll flinch, and they're like, "What's wrong with you?" And I didn't tell them about it, and I said, "Oh, nothing." And I thought, "What is wrong?" And then I remember coming back home after my first contract, and I remember I haven't told any of my family or nothing. And they're like, "Oh, I saw so and so." I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And then we went to this event, and he was on the panel, and he was talking about his life and that because he was on drugs and stuff, and he was saying what he's got regrets and stuff. And I'm sitting there looking down, and he's talking and talking, and I'm just getting sweaty now. I'm thinking, and I'm thinking, I hope he hasn't seen me. So he's talking and talking, and like he must have clocked me. Like he's tall, so I'm trying to my friend goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just gonna go outside for some fresh air. Yeah, just meet me outside." And I went and I hide. And my friend goes, "Oh, so was looking for you." I said, "Was they?" And I was like, I have to tell someone. So I remember just telling my cousins. I said, "This is what happened." I said, "They went, what?" And then my cousin goes, one of my cousins like, "I knew something was wrong, because she stabbed his tire." And I took the blame for it. Because I knew something was wrong. She didn't like him, but she didn't know what it was. So she stabbed his tire. So he was like, I said, "No, it wasn't my cousin." She goes, I said, "It was me." And my cousin, what? I said, because I knew if it was it, he would have done to her, and I didn't want her to go through that. I said, "You know what? I just take the rap for it." And I took the rap, even though it wasn't me. And she said, "So hold on, so you went through that and you knew I slapped his tire. Why didn't you let me?" And I went, "No." And I said, "You know what? I love his family. You know what I mean? I still talk to his family now.
That's the thing,
but he's just a bad egg. You know what I mean? He was just a bad egg out of the mix. I'm thinking, how do you come from a nice family and you're like this?" And but it was just that experience, and I was young. Maybe I asked for certain things because obviously, again, I've got a mouth. But at the same time, it's made me grow, and it's made me just realise that I had regrets on certain things. But at the same time, I'm glad I'm out of that relationship. Big time, 100%.
Wow.
Well done.
Looking at all 4 of you ladies and ourselves, people will never believe what we've gone through and come out the other end, and to be able to now come back and share our stories. It's brilliant.
And that's
brilliant,
to be able to talk
powerful.
about it.
That's right.
Is that the first time you hear yourself talking about it?
No, I haven't talked about it in the last
It's been a while,
about
isn't
4
It's a
years.
long time, innit?
Yeah, it's a long time.
Songs.
Yeah, I thought, if I didn't think I'd get emotional. I thought I'd be okay, but obviously,
But I think I think the more you talk his stories, the easier it becomes to talk about it. So just continue talking.
Yeah. And sometimes it's because we get emotional when we sit back and think about what we've gone through.
And not only
You
that
know.
too, I find that when I was going through, I thought to myself, I was angry and I was crying and stuff, but I realized that I was angry with myself because I was like, how could you?
Yeah.
How could you really sit down and let somebody talk to you like that, treat you like that? So I find myself most of the time when I was angry, it was with myself for putting
Yeah.
up with stuff. And things like that. So I think sometimes that's where the anger comes from, because you think when you're talking about it, you're storing it, hearing it back, and hearing yourself talking about it, you're thinking, nah, you know.
But I do see him like years later because his sister passed away.
Yeah.
And I was reluctant to go to the house, but then I thought, you know, yeah, we're adults now, I'm a bit older.
Yeah.
And I seen him, and it was funny. I was by Handsworth Park, and I was parked up. I think I was waiting for my daughter to come out with her cousins.
Yeah.
And he drove. I don't know how he seen me because there's a car in front, a car here, and he went and he stopped. So I'm blocked now because there's nowhere for me to go.
Yeah.
And he's like, give me your number. I went, nope. And he's like, give me your number. He goes, why? He goes, why not? You're not giving your number? Nope,
Nope.
I'm not giving you your number.
No.
And he's like, I want a
She said to
massage.
him,
I
this
said,
is-
there's
this is
plenty
what
people
I'm-
want massage. I don't. Oops,
Yeah.
people want massage. Don't come to me. And he's like, and then something's in my head, Connie, you need to have closure. So just talk to him. So I gave him my number, and I says, don't phone all night time.
Yeah.
Phone in the day. And then he phoned one time, and he's like, I need a massage. I said, I told you I'm not giving you one.
No.
I said, go to other people. And he's like, why are you being so cold to me? And I went, hold on, is this guy?
That's it. You must have
They,
forgot
yeah,
what happened.
they
innit?
do.
Yeah.
They
So,
do.
They
He
do.
phoned it next time, and I thought, I need to just say, I said, you talk like, say, me and you are cool.
Yeah.
And he said, what about? I said, you forget this, that.
Yeah.
He's like, where? He goes, you know, my head wasn't right, and I was drunk, And I said, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I says, I still went through
You
that.
still went through it.
I says, but I forgive you, but I don't forgive you for you. I forgive you for me,
Yeah.
so I can move on.
Yeah.
And he says, but I hold you in high regard. Like I always talk about high living. I said, yeah, but so you should.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
was
got
a,
no
I was a
reason
good
not
girlfriend
to.
to you. I was
Yeah.
not a bad girlfriend.
No.
And he goes, no, you wasn't. Because I just weren't in the right headspace, and you know, I treated you bad. But then, you know, you went away to work, and you know, when asking people where you are, they're like, I don't know, Connie's on a ship, man. She's cruising, and
Yeah.
so that for back and forth for years. I said I didn't get a chance to speak to you. I said, yeah, but I didn't want to speak to you.
Yeah.
I said, you're the one of the reasons why I went on the ship.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because I didn't want to
Yeah,
get away,
exactly.
Wow. Wow. And did that bring closure?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I decided to write the back chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said you might see not necessarily your name, but you'll see the story in the book.
You told him, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And,
Anyway.
and do you guys still talk?
No.
Or? No.
Yeah.
No. And did he actually apologize?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he did. He apologized, and he was just like
So
then he was like, can we meet up? I said,
No.
I've had the closure on the phone. I don't need to meet you in
No,
person.
no.
I don't need to meet you in person.
Because he's very persuasive. You should have said to him. He's very forceful. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
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 Isn't it?
Yeah.
Because even in the second bit when he said to him no, you had to say no much time.
Yeah.
And he still,
Yeah.
in the end, he just decided to give it to him.
Yeah.
No, and that's in itself, he needs to know that that's coercive behavior.
Yes, it
Forcing
is.
somebody to do something against their will.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well done.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm going to bring Janetta into the conversation.
Yeah.
Any messages?
No, just Angela saying hi, inspirational woman. Yeah, that's it so far. I think everybody just listening.
Hi, Janetta. You're on air now. How are you?
Oh, I'm good, thank you. Excellent.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm
it going?
fine, thank you. It's going well. We've got Andrea here, Maxine, Sarah, and Cornita, and each one of the ladies have spoken about their chapter in the book. So, on to yourself now. What was your chapter?
The secret lining of my hidden suitcase.
Wow.
God,
Each one of you have got really powerful topics. No wonder it's called The Surviving Queen. And what did that entail?
What does my chapter entail?
Yes.
without trying to give too much away, it contains the secret lining in my hidden suitcase contained notes and transcripts of my ordeals. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
Things that I couldn't personally reveal to anyone, but by writing it down and hiding it, it was my way of releasing it, but still keeping it tight until when I was ready.
Oh God, my best friend is listening.
Oh, okay. So when you were ready, is that when you were able to share in the book?
Yes, because believe it or not, I actually wrote 3 books of my own, an autobiographical trilogy, and I was not able on my own to actually delve into the detail of my abusive, traumatic time. It was not until the Survival Queens and Andrea came to me and we all got together and was able to really delve deep into our traumas.
Okay.
And it was the solidarity of the group what enabled me to go that step further and give the detail, the things that were written down and hidden. 3 books before.
Okay, wow.
Plays before. All sorts of things revealed on stage, my story, but yet still I was unable to go that step further until I had a group around me who resonated with it to that degree.
Okay, lovely. So I suppose all of you coming together and collaborating on this book was more or less like a shoulder to cry on, a shoulder to help support and bring out your book or your story.
Oh, definitely, because the thing about writing a book on your own, you have to answer the questions on your own.
Yeah.
You know, people always want to know what it's about, how you was able to get there, you know, what the process was like, etc., etc. You're on your own. There's nobody at each side of you. But with a collaboration like this, you're never on your own.
Yeah. And
That's the strength.
And whilst you were writing the book or your chapters within this book, how often did you meet, or how were you in terms of, or did you phone one person more than the other, or, you know, in terms of...
No, I don't think we ever sort of like thought of a time scale to that, because you can't really put a time scale on what you have to reveal. What we tried to do was support each other on Zoom, you know, talk things through how we was going to go through it, and then we had someone that was going to put everything together and edit it, etc. But Andrea took a lot of that brunt in trying to organise the Zooms and get everyone together. But everyone's working. Everybody's time process of doing something like that takes time. But, you know, she gave us that scope. But we did have a timeline because it had to be given to someone to actually put it together to make it into a book. So we had a bit of a timeline, but we had the breathing space, I believe, which was important.
So was it difficult to navigate the process of it?
I don't... Personally, I'm not sure how difficult it was for everybody else, but because I'd already written my trilogy, I was sort of like already bleeding out what I've gone through. I didn't start as a virgin on it. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't that I just started to reveal my truth. I did it already. I did stage plays on my journey. But like I said, the detail is what I needed. And I was so relieved when I was approached to put this together. I said, finally now, I've got people aside me that when I do this, I've got backup.
And
you
that's
know,
what
people say, if I'm revealing it and I get a little bit like triggered or anything, I've got real, genuine backup to help me through.
That's good, because Andrea did say when she first started and writing it through COVID and so forth, you were able to share and be there for one another. So that's was great. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, that's what I said. That was the importance of it. You know, when you're doing a book, well, that type of book, when you're dealing with traumas, abuse, violence, or anything like that, you do need that backup. You do need that kind of camaraderie, counselling. That's seriously important. And you need people that you can trust.
That's right. Yeah, definitely. And whilst writing your book, or after the anthology was printed, did you get counselling? Any of you have counselling throughout it? No.
I'm not sure about anyone else, but I had people around me, and I also counselled myself. So I sort of had that backup already in place. I had that in situ. Plus, I'm a retired psychiatric nurse anyway, so I have that wealth of knowledge in me. That's why I was able to do my trilogy in the first place. But like I said, this added depth of detail that's within that chapter, I didn't really digress to that degree with that. So the process of writing it was cathartic to me anyway, because I trusted the process. I trusted who was writing alongside me within that book. And the title itself gave me armor. Yeah, I'll use that word. It actually gave me armor.
Wow.
You know, to say a survival, because most people say, oh, the victim, this, but this was survival, Queens. It had a different presence, it had a different tone. It made me feel more confident, it made me feel championed, it made me feel accompanied to take that journey further.
I hear that, because each one of you have shared parts of your story from, you know, each chapter, and we can understand the survival queen, hence why the title of the book. So that's brilliant.
Yeah, because not only did I write my chapter within that, I also was able to do poems that I wrote alongside, and poetry that I used with other people to help them bleed out what was inhibited too. So my poems were also added to the book.
Okay. So what have you done since the anthology that you feel has aided towards your healing?
Well, since the anthology, I must say, I was doing a lot of theatre stuff. I was doing one-woman shows and stuff. But since bleeding out the last essence, I would say, of it, I've transpired to be more confident, to involve a lot of people that haven't been confident, to do stage, and to do. I'm into a lot of films now, and since then I've done a ton more writing for myself, for others. The confidence has just grown so much more since that. So I have to say thank you for this anthology.
So has all of that happened since writing your chapter in the book, or were you doing some of those things prior to?
I was doing some of those things before, but it was on a smaller scale.
Okay.
But since then, I've toured a show of my own. I've had shows before that's toured, but I've done it for other people or other companies. But I've toured a show of my own. I've done more productions, more filming, done scripts for other people, ghostwriting for other people, including TV. So it's definitely stretched me, because I've got nothing else to hide anymore. It's all out there. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know whose hands it's in. You see what I'm saying? So I could meet someone in a room that's spotting my face, especially if I wear the same wrapper says, I know your story. I don't know when that's going to happen. So the confidence has to be in me to walk in any room as a creative and expect that at any time to hit me like a wall.
I hear you
so
there.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
And we all have to be ready once it's out there. You don't know whose hands it's in, who's ready, and can walk up to you and say, you know what, I read your story, Survival Queens. How do you just turn around and face that person and swallow hard and just say, You have to be ready.
You have to.
You have to be ready.
Definitely. I remember when I wrote my book and everybody had brought their copies, and when it came now, bagged them up, put them in the envelope, and I was frightened and thinking, what are you doing? You're sending all your business out there. You know what I mean? Do you know when it just dawns on you and it's like, oh my gosh. But they pay for the books and you've got to send them. So yeah, that is the reality.
The thing is, it comes in waves.
Yes.
You can have this dry period, and all of a sudden, someone comes from nowhere and says, "I read that, or I've seen you somewhere, I've heard you somewhere. Where have I seen you from?" And then when they mention a book or the book, it's like, okay, brace yourself for the questions.
Yeah, I was at a funeral last year, at latter part of last year, and this woman came to me and said, "Is your name Curlyn?" And I'm saying, "Yes." She said, "I've read your book." And I'm thinking, how did you get my book? Do you know, you're thinking, you know, well, somebody had told me about it and they purchased it, and I was thinking, wow, you know, but it's good, it's all good, especially when they come back and can report that it's helped them. So
that's the do all and end all.
Definitely.
You know, to bleed out your story, it's traumatic enough to regress. Yeah, because you're hitting places in your mind that was closed.
That's right.
And it's like a thief in the night visiting you and cutting your throat. To be real, you know, a thief in the night coming into your bedroom and holding a knife at your throat and saying, "Come on, you know, bleed it out, or else."
Okay.
You know, and once you start, you do bleed. You literally do bleed.
Oh, bless.
And if you've got people around you that can mop it up, put on the plaster, you know, put on the bandage and give you the painkillers, all the better. But when you're on your own, sister, and you've got to mop up your own blood, it's not easy. It's not easy. And you need people, you need that counselling, you need to tread barefoot until somebody give you a pair of shoes.
Oh, bless. Thanks, Janetta. And one last question to ask each one of you. What would you like to do in the future, if anything, from where you're at now?
Well, if I can answer first, because you're with them and you can talk on a lot more. Like I said, with my own story, I've done a few productions on my own story, and I continue to do that for other people and films. I think it would be really good if we managed to show our work, because it's been read, it's been heard, but also to show, because to me, when you are seen, heard, respected and accepted for the entirety of who you are, that's when you grow, that's when you heal.
Yeah.
Amen. That's great. Well,
so
thank you for that.
That's what I believe.
If you'd like to put in my WhatsApp details of how we can get your books or any of your plays, and then I can pass it on to the listeners, that'd be so grateful.
Okay, well, I'm not doing any plays or anything at the moment.
Okay.
They were all sort of done. I taught last year. What I'm doing at the moment is films. So what I'll do from time to time, because I've got 3 films that are coming out soon.
Oh, lovely.
I will pass them on to you, and what you could do is refer back to the Survival Queens thing on this date, the 1st of April 2026. One of the Survival Queen authors, Janetta Barrett, has got a film coming out, so just drop it at the end of one of the shows or whatever.
Oh,
when it's near the time, yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
You're consistent with these shows. So.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, thank you, Janetta. Thank you for sparing
no problem.
your time.
Ladies, stay
Bye.
Bye. All right. Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Okay, then.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow. Just wanna acknowledge the people that have written it in the chat. Once again, thank you so much for listening in and commenting. So we have Carol. She says, great collections of your experiences. Thank you for sharing. I love that quote. That purse is not for me. So powerful to understand that realization to assist to move on. And then Cheetah is saying, hi, ladies. And she says, thank you all for sharing your stories, queens. very inspiring. I think we should take a quick break, and then we can finish off with that last question, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, quickly.
When the gates swing wide, I just wanna hear, well done, my child. Welcome home. I've been a sinner, I've been a saint, been on my knees when I could have faint, lost my way, but he lit my path. Even when I ran, he never turned his back. Some folks smile just to see me fall, but I heard God say I still called you home. So I walk by faith, not by sight, and I praise his name through every fight. You can take the world, I don't need the crown. Just give me peace when I lay it down. Lord, I've been broken, but I'm still whole. 'Cause you never let go, never let go. When I cross that line, just a robe of white and a hallelujah call. Glory, I wanna get into heaven, stay in line. When the trumpets let my name be read. I don't walk through pain, but I kept believing. 'Cause grace don't quit and God ain't leaving. I wanna get into heaven, where there's no more hurt, no more tears. Let my story be his glory. When I see him face to face, I'm whole. I don't need the spotlight, I don't need the stage. I just need that one moment when heaven opens and he says, you made it, my child. That's the only applause I'm living for. This year, I'm not walking in quiet, I'm walking in with every lesson I paid for in tears. Every boundary I built out of broken pieces. Every prayer I whispered when nobody knew I was drowning. This year, I'm not pretending I'm okay, just to make other people comfortable. I've done enough shrinking to fit inside rooms that were never built for my spirit. I've done enough bending to keep love alive that was already dying. I've done enough bleeding to prove I was worthy of being held. No more, not this year. This year I'm choosing me with the same intensity I used to choose survival. I'm choosing rest like it's a birthright. I'm choosing joy like it's a medicine. I'm choosing peace like it's the only language my soul understands. And if you're listening to this, if your heart feels heavy, if your spirit feels tired, if you're stepping into this new year with more scars than celebrations, come closer. Let me talk to the part of you that's been holding on by a thread. You made it, even when you didn't think you would. Even when the nights were long and the mornings felt like punishment. Even when you were surrounded by people but still felt alone. You made it, and that means something. That means everything. This year, when I'm carrying old wounds into new seasons, when I'm watering dead things, hoping they'll bloom again, when I'm begging for love that should have been freely given, we're not chasing people who never learned how to stay. We're not explaining our worth to folks who benefit from misunderstanding us. We're not dimming our light to make shadows feel safe. This year we rise, not because life got easier, but because we got wiser, because we got tired of breaking ourselves to keep the world from falling apart. Because we finally realize we deserve softness too. We're healing out loud, we're laughing from the belly. We're crying without shame, we're loving without fear. We're forgiving without forgetting. We're honoring the versions of ourselves that kept us alive long enough to see this moment in. This year we're walking different. Head high, heart open, feet.
Welcome back, guys. We're on our last leg, so to speak. Welcome back to the Curlyn Daley Show, giving voice to the voiceless. And just to add, I'm going to be asking Sarah, Conita, Andrea and Maxine, what would they like to happen for the future, if anything?
For me personally, this is Sarah speaking. As I was just saying not long ago, because for my business in the last couple of years we haven't really done much due to Birmingham City Council contracts being lost because they went bankrupt, a director leaving, and me just losing my drive. If I'm honest with you, because no matter what life's still going on, and I'm still being a mum, I'm still having to work full time, I'm still having to run a house on my own, I'm still having to do everything on my own, and it all can get a bit much. But this year I've been working towards bringing love back, so we're rebranding, because we are Listen Uplift and CIC, but I'm rebranding as Love CIC. I meant to have an event on the 11th of April, but I'm actually looking at postponing it due to numbers, which is, you know, can be disheartening, but you know what, I know what I'm doing is needed, and I'm just going to continue to push through and just continue to spread the love.
And definitely don't watch the numbers.
I know.
Because
You can't do an event with
I
no
know,
one.
I know, but sometimes it's about not watching the numbers.
No, I know, but trust me, there has to be a certain level. Do you get what I mean? Like, I'm not expecting something where I want like 20, 50 people. Like, do you know what I mean? It's a small event anyway, but you know, it's what's God's plan.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's my plan for the future.
Lovely. Conita?
So obviously my business is Conita Taylor Health and Wellbeing, and obviously working with surviving queens, it would be nice to give some more health and wellbeing advice to the youngsters, because I think they need it a lot. And obviously doing a play, as Andrea will maybe talk now, it would be nice to actually put all our experiences in the play, so people can see actually live as well as we speak, and as well Genesis said before.
Nice.
Lovely.
Maxine.
Right, so I'm looking at getting my book out. Finally. It's been a process for so long, yes. But also still continue being that voice for the voiceless. Still being that person that needed me when I was younger. And and just embracing more initiatives for women to be brave, to be seen. That poem that you said at the beginning just sums it up great. You know, that it was just totally every word. You know, it's about and also just I'm really passionate about women's rights and equality, and you know, and for young people as well. But for women, I think, you know, we've been done by, you know, over the years, and you know, there's a lot of women out there as well who are still in situations, and they just need to reach out to any of us, and we'll help guide you to your empowerment.
Definitely.
Awesome. Cool.
Andrea?
There with us, guys. Studio full. Doing, what do you call it?
Swap over.
Yeah, swap over.
I was going to go bend over.
Anyway.
Andrea the Joker. Anyway, yes, surviving queens, you know, why are we really on this radio station? Because we want to revive surviving queens, because I started off on a mission, and then obviously because I got ill in 2021, like I said, I lost my mojo, if you get what I'm saying, because I was concentrating on healing myself and getting back to myself. But now I want to get back doing stuff around surviving queens. So this is a First Point radio station.
Yeah.
Look, we're hoping to do a podcast soon with
Lovely.
the surviving queens, because we need to get that message out there and really start helping and supporting women more, and I just say on a wider level. Because there's a lot of work to do, and we know we need to be doing some of that work.
Yeah.
You know, we've all been through some elements or health issues, and God is keeping us all alive for a reason.
That's
So
right,
we need to get out
definitely.
there and do what we need to do to help and support the women. We also, obviously, Cornita, you've got your dinner and dance in November, which is great. And I've got talk to do end of the month on narcissistic abuse. You know, and also I think we need to be out there talking more with the churches as well.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of
Definitely.
abuse is going on,
Definitely in the
but
church.
we need to raise the awareness, and then the churches need to allow us to come in and speak about it, because you know there's too much hidden agendas, and like I said, we need to speak our truth so that we can live a better life. And hopefully, as we said, we've got to do the play. Definitely going to do the play. Be nice if we can do a film, documentary or a film.
Well,
but that's in
you've
the
got
big, you know,
Janetta
but,
on your
but-
side.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. But you know, you got to start off creeping,
Yes.
walking,
and build yourself
and then
up.
running. Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll build ourselves up. But this is the plan, you know. And I just let people know that we're back and we're unstoppable. You know, we got some strong women here, and we're all
Definitely.
doing our individual things. But you know, we still need to come together as a force and just do what we have to do.
Gotta
and
do.
Move
Lovely.
mountains. Yes. That's
Can
how
I ask you
look at it.
just to name the other 4 ladies, because there's 9 of you in all
The
in
other
the
4
chapters.
ladies, Maureen Worrell. The other 4, 3 of them live in London,
Okay.
and there's one from Tanzania.
Oh,
So you got
lovely.
Anchilla. Can you see the names there for the glasses? We've got Maureen. We've got Anchilla.
Yeah.
We've got what's the other?
May Teresa.
May Teresa. And there's one more. Can't even find. Isn't that bad? Can you see? It's bad. My eyesight is really going really bad. But anyway, that is. But as I
Okay.
said, the other 3 are in London.
Yeah.
But we're the Birmingham crew. And
Mm.
so obviously we're starting off here because obviously we can get the Birmingham people together. More quicker to do certain things. You know, I will be speaking to them at some point, and if they want to come, that's fine. And then hopefully one time we can get. Really could have got Anchilla on the phone. Because she's in Tanzania. But you know, as I said, we're here to do.
Kimberly.
Kimberly.
Yeah.
We're here to do a
Thank
job,
you.
and we gotta go on. We gotta get out there and do our work. It's what we need to do. And I know we all got our personal things, but we're
Gotta
on
do
a
what you
mission.
gotta do.
Yeah.
I hear.
And we got to accomplish it. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I've got somebody online who would like to ask 2 questions, so I don't know who she's going to answer. So, do you want to go ahead, Carol?
Thank you. When I listen to the Curlyn Daley show, it always makes me think, how do we make things better for the generation now? So I guess one of the questions I've got 2 questions I'm putting to the panelists. What advice would you give to your younger self, or what advice would you give to individuals dealing with these kind of issues? And then the second question is, how do we build self-confidence and self-esteem and self-worth to allow individuals to feel valued or worthy? How do we do that? What are the tools?
Well, I'll say firstly, building confidence and so forth, self-worth, is having different agendas like this, whereby we're able to open up and share and be confident in giving back, I would say.
What I find with building your confidence, I help build my confidence by listening to other motivational speakers. You know, a lot of reading. You do a lot of reading, and sometimes you got to go on different programs that someone's got out there for you to build your confidence and your self-worth, because some people have not got confidence and they need to do that. You understand? So it's up to the individual how they want to build their confidence, because it's not everyone's different. You understand? I when I was younger, I didn't feel I had confidence. I was very quiet, very shy, and maybe that's why my baby father from years ago maybe got away with what he did. But I don't, in this day and age now, I don't think that could happen. That's why when I got married and I felt what was happening around my husband, I had enough confidence to say, when you're leaving. Do you understand? Because at the end of the day, I am not going to be living my life like that. You understand? Over the years, I've built my confidence. So I know I'm a very confident person. I know sometimes I can walk in a room and I own that room. You understand? People looking, oh, Miss Maynard. You understand? People call me Miss Maynard. You understand what I'm saying? So that's one of the ways of building your confidence. What was the first question?
Could you repeat your question, the first question again, Carol?
Yeah, I was just asking, what advice would you give your younger self? As one reflection, what advice would you give your younger self, or an individual that's dealing with such issues in the here and now?
I think if you obviously listen to my story, if what I went through, I wish that I wasn't silent. And I think being silent allows a person to do what they want to do. So just talk to someone. There's always people there. There's obviously there's weights. Back when I was going through what I was with, there was no one that I could speak to that I thought that I could trust. It's about trusting someone with that information. But yeah, it's just talking up, not being silent, and loving yourself. But you only can love yourself when you actually know what you need to know yourself. So yeah,
you know, it's like what Sarah's doing with love programs when she was going through the schools, because you have to feed these things into the younger generation.
That's right.
That, you know, because obviously they learn by what they see.
True.
So if you teach them when they're younger, then as they get older, they're confident enough to know, hey, that's not right.
Exactly.
But we have to get them at a younger age.
That's right.
You understand? A lot of them see what happens in the home, and when they see what happens in the home, that's learnt behaviour. And, you know, our generation, keep your mouth zipped, don't say nothing, So they grow up with that stigma and won't speak out about what was going on in their homes. You understand?
There's a saying that says silence breeds stigma. So when we keep silent, that's what creates stigma and shame.
Because I was thinking, like, what I would say to my younger self is, like Cornita said, it's about now. I was very insular as a child, so what I used to do, I used to read a lot, be on my own, read my books a lot because of all what was going on around me. And my self-esteem was low as well. And I would say, it's difficult because back then, I mean, we're talking many years ago, it was very hard to talk to
Your
family
parents,
members.
that's right,
Even family members, because they all wanted to just stick things under the fence, or they weren't able for you to talk to, they weren't like that. So, but now, working in education, I always, my pupils, my girls, I always try to instill with them, that about keep telling them they're beautiful, you can do this, you're wonderful, you can do anything you want to do. Try to give them that confidence to know that they can have that voice. So starting them from young to let them know you got that voice.
And obviously I find go on.
Oh, sorry. And I keep saying, I try to be the person that I needed. And I have people, I mean, I've had some people who are just like, who are not very nice, but I've had people pour into me. A few people. And because they poured into me, I can pour into others.
somebody else, definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
It made me feel like, you are wonderful.
Yeah.
You are great. You are magnificent. And I can do that with somebody else. They pour into me. I never had that when I was younger.
Thank you, Maxine. Thank you.
And that's it,
Thank you.
Does that answer your question, Carol?
And Sarah?
It did indeed. Thank you so much.
Wait a
Very
minute.
comprehensive.
We've got one more. We've got one more answer. Great.
No, it's fine.
Come on, Sarah. Tell the younger one, innit?
What would you tell your younger self now? I said run. No, I'm just joking. You matter, yeah, that's good.
Okay.
That's a good
Kind of like what Maxine said. I like to be what other people didn't have. So
Yeah.
especially like when I was working in the school and even in my day job now in children's services, I like to give people support and the empathy and the understanding that I didn't get. So yeah.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Wow.
it's more or less the same for myself. Just to talk up, and not hold everything. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just to speak up for myself. And encourage my daughter, even my son, to say whatever you've got to say. Yeah, in a respectful way.
Oh, thanks, Carol.
Thanks,
for
Carol.
coming.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just want to acknowledge the chat. So we got Cassetta. She's saying, ladies, you are all a group of strong black women, true to the words. And she says, thank you for telling your painful stories. I'm sure you are helping others. Yeah, definitely. I've learned a lot since I've been taught.